So the next prospect we're going to look at in this year's draft is Kevin Mcgonigle, a 5'10", 187-pound left-handed hitter and right-handed thrower out of Monsignor Bonner High School in Pennsylvania. This is one of my favorite hitters in this year's draft. This is like, watching a left-handed version of like a Matt McLean kind of swing in high school. This kid has a really bright future, so let's dig into why. Let's take a look at a couple of his BP swings right here, right? So again, you saw Houck on the right-handed side. Now you're looking at Mcgonigle on the left-hand side. His upper body is really driving this move, right? The float forward is really nice. The only thing I'd like to see, when he gets into his negative move, there's a big rock back where he gets on top of his back leg, right? And I think that as he continues to go forward, generally what you see is guys transition through levels. If they get on top, then they don't move forward as well, and their upper body doesn't control their pelvis the same way that it generally needs to. Now that's being real nitpicky, and I think it's a very easy thing that he's going to kind of naturally figure out as he continues in the game. But let's go to landing real quick. In fact, let's pull back that last swing, okay? So as this kid gets into landing right here, we see him get to, and obviously the frame rate, right? Because we don't have a high-speed camera on this one, it's tough to get the exact landing because he's launching as he's getting into the ground, but he's getting into the ground in a square position. Again, like Houck and a lot of these other top prospects, you don't see their pelvis yanking early. You see their lower body kind of hold on into landing, and then as they start to actually execute the swing, you'll see the pelvis go, right? But you'll see the hands outrace the pelvis incredibly, incredibly quickly. Now watch his back leg right here, right? Let's go forward. So the hands outrace the pelvis there. The barrel's on plane with the ball, right? Let's roll forward a couple more. Take a look at his back leg, right? See how that move, it kind of scissored behind him and anchored and held on? That means his body is moving incredibly naturally. He's creating a tremendous amount of force with the upper body getting against the lower body through the middle of the field. And not only is his bat path short, right? And not only is it direct, which leads to such an incredible hit tool, he has the ability to compress the cork of the ball with a short swing. Think of it like Bruce Lee one-inch punching the ball. How do we create a lot of force in a really small window of time and space, right? So there are some guys that you see that have this huge bat speed and they create this force, but they have a ton of swing and miss. And then you'll see other guys with these really short swings, but they're kind of punch and Judy. When you see guys that have a short swing to the ball that can really lay their body weight and mass into it and compress that cork of the ball consistency, for me, that's just a sign of a really, really good hitter that understands what the head of the bat feels like and how he actually needs to deliver it into the ball. And this kid's got that in spades. So just an incredible young prospect. I see tremendous amount of potential. And it's going to be really, really fun to watch this kid as he continues. One of the things that, and I was talking to a scouting director about this the other day, more and more in the game, we keep seeing these smaller guys, right, continue to move through the ranks. And the reality is that when you have shorter levers, your brain has easier control of them. When you have a long levered guy, it's more difficult to control the length of those levers. It's more difficult to control the bat head. And while there is more potential for force, listen guys, the field has predetermined lengths. Okay, you don't score more runs when you hit the ball 500 feet instead of 400 feet. So if a guy has the ability to consistently compress the cork and hit it off the wall and over the wall, even if it's 430 and the fence is only 418, it doesn't matter. And I see guys like this as really having a huge future in the game. And the fact that they're smaller shouldn't take away anything from them at the top end of the draft. And for me as a scout, like if I was a scouting director, I would never be choosing this guy over this guy just because he's a bigger guy, right? Like if this guy can consistently do it and he has the ability to compress the cork and he has the appropriate amount of force to consistently drive the ball in gaps, I almost think there's more of a benefit to a guy like this because he has better control over those levers. So I am a big, and I've been talking about this for probably, 7 or 8 years. We had done some draft breakdowns a long time ago, and I had mentioned that I felt like there was going to be this big influx of these shorter levered, smaller guys moving up the ranks. And just because in the game, we're starting to allow smaller guys to drive the ball. It used to be where this kid growing up, everybody's going to tell him that because he's got speed and he's smaller, he's just got to hit the ball on the ground the other way. This kid clearly wasn't ever told that, wasn't ever forced to do that. He was allowed to figure out how to be the best hitter that he could be. So I see a really bright future from him, and he's an incredible prospect to watch going forward.